Hello and welcome to today's prenatal yoga class. Let us come find a comfortable seated position and we will begin. So as we progress in our pregnancy, we raise the buttocks so as to accommodate the growth of babes and to allow you to sit with greater ease. So as we come, let's come place the hands onto the belly as we close our eyes. And we're going to draw inwards, bringing in a meditation, about 5 to 7 minutes, just to settle in, to release the day, and to come and connect more fully with your body and with your baby. So as we come to close the eyes, we allow the tip of the tongue to rest behind the two front teeth, and we draw the inner gaze inwards and upwards to the brow point. As our shoulders softly descend away from the ears, as the shoulder blades frame the back body. We come to find our breath, a full cleansing breaths in and out. And as we allow the warmth of our hands to rest onto the belly, we allow the tip of the tongue to rest behind the two front teeth as we draw the inner gaze inwards and upwards to the brow point. As our shoulders descend away from the ears and our collarbone broadens, there's a soft lift up through the heart. But there's also a grounding, a deep connection with the buttock bones descending into the earth. And ladies, I invite you to ever so slightly draw the pelvis back so that you feel the grounding in the back of your buttock bones. Especially with the growth of babes, there can be a natural tendency to rock the pelvis forwards. And you may observe that as you draw the back of the buttock bones down, you may experience a wonderful broadening through the back of the sacrum, broadening in the lower back, relieving any tension and compression in the lower back. Find your cleansing in breath and your full, steady cleansing out breath. As you feel the warmth of your hands radiating into your belly as you connect with your baby, continue to find your cleansing inhale and your smooth, steady cleansing exhale. Ladies, allow the corners of your eyes to gently smile. And allow that smile to radiate inward. Long cleansing breaths in and steady cleansing breaths out. And then we gently come to take the hands together at the heart. And we come to bow the chin down to the heart, honoring the body and inviting your magnificent mind to merge with the wisdom of your body and your soul. And of course, that of your baby. And as you come to open the eyes back into the room, extend your arms out to the sides. Release the shoulders down and bring the arms forwards. You're going to bring right on top of left and you're going to wrap the arms around. Take hold of the shoulder blades and gently rock back and forth. And you can say, and I invite you to say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Embracing your body, honoring and acknowledging the magnificence of this body of ours. Able to house life, sustain life, carry life. And then we open the arms, extending out. We'll go to the other side. Left arm on top of right. Wrap the arms around. Gently rock from side to side, back and forth, or be still. See what innately presents itself to you. And now we take in the embrace of a loved one, past, present, or future. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Trust who innately comes to you. Hold their essence. You might have their scent come to you. You might have their presence be with you. Observe, honor it, embrace it. And release. Good. All right. Let's come onto our hands and knees. Coming onto the hands and knees, spread your fingertips and thumb pads wide. Your shoulders are stacked above your wrists. And your hips are stacked above your knees. Release the shoulders gently away from the ears, and as the eyes softly gaze downwards to the earth, slightly knit your ribs together, just to help contain the front and back body. And when you're ready, you're going to shift the weight to your right knee, and you're going to come stretch the left leg out behind you. Drop the outer hip. Bring your awareness to the inner thigh, and just take a moment to stretch the leg out behind you. Take in that nice calf stretch. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly power up, raising the leg. Shoulders descending away from the ears. Now you can stay as you are, or you can come float the opposite right arm alongside the ear as the right thumb points upwards to the ceiling. Harness the breath. Good. Release the hand. Come cross that left foot over to the right side. Curl the toes under, lengthen out through the heel, and then come look over that right shoulder towards the left heel. Your left hip is lengthening to the heel, and you're going to get this wonderful stretch through that left side body. If there are any heels kicking into the ribs, this is going to feel good. And then exhale, releasing back down. Take a moment, do some gentle hip circles. It can feel particularly good on the side, getting to stretch the glutes, the outer hip. So if it feels really good here, just pause. Stay here a little longer. Just get a nice stretch as you come back to center. Transfer the weight to the left knee. Knit the ribs together again. Find that containment between front and back body. Transfer the weight and then stretch right leg out. Curl the right toes under. Let the heel draw back. And while you're here, you're dropping the outer hip and bringing your awareness to the inner upper groin. Keeping those hips stable and symmetrical, level. Right and left side remain on the same plane. All right, after that lovely stretch, let's raise that right leg up. Lift the right leg from the right inner upper groin. You can stay as you are, or you can float that left arm alongside the ear. Now, this may not be in your practice today. You may feel more comfortable keeping the hand on the floor. You decide. Know that you can rest the toes to the floor and bring the arm and keep that stability that way. Every day you will have different needs. Honor them, adjust to them. If your left hand was raised, release it down. Cross right leg over to left side. Plant the toes down. Let the hip lengthen to the heel. Look over the left shoulder and breathe into that wonderful stretch here on the other side. Cleansing breaths in and out. And release gently back down. Bring the knees nice and wide. Draw the buttocks towards the heels and come rest in child's pose. Now you can stack the fists and rest the forehead onto the fists. You may find it comfortable to rest the head to the earth. If so, bring the arms alongside the body and rest in a deeper child's pose. Now, again, this all depends on how far you are along in your pregnancy. Inhale. We're going to ease on up. Bring the knees a little closer together. You're going to draw the buttocks slightly back from the knees. You're going to extend the arms out. And again, if you're further along in your pregnancy, widen the knees a little more to accommodate babes. We're going to extend the arms out in front, and we're going to rest the forehead to the earth. Lengthen the buttocks back. Let the shoulder blades frame the back of the body and come to find that cleansing inhale and your smooth, steady cleansing exhale. A nice opening into the armpits. Now keep knitting the ribs together. This is important so that you don't overstretch in the back. You want to maintain a nice strong connection between front and back body. At least a present connection to your body. One more cleansing breath in. Some may not be able to straighten the arms. You may rest the forearms to the earth, but keep releasing shoulders away from the ears. And you can bring the arms a little wider and rest the forearms to the earth if you wish, as the forehead rests softly to the earth. So that's a nice modification. But you still get that length through the back body. All right. So wherever you are, slowly knit the ribs together, draw up into the back body, and then slowly raise the torso up to come back up, because you don't have a core to work with, per se. All right. We're going to pause in a supported child's pose. If you have 2 blocks, use them. If you have 1 block, use the 1. If you have 1 block, let's work with 1. You place the block at the head of the mat, and then you place the bolster over the top at an angle. As you know, if you have the second, you can always place the second underneath, and the bolster can be a little off the floor. That can work comfortably too. All right, bring your knees either side of the bolster. It may not be available for everybody to sit onto the heels. If it is your feet that don't lie flat, take a rolled up blanket, just a small roll, and allow this roll to sit on the mat so that the top of your foot can rest and be supported by this roll. Because sometimes the top of the foot doesn't lay flat to the earth. And this roll will bridge that gap and support the feet. You have extra fluids in your body. You may not be able to sit with your buttocks on your heels. Take your extra block or a nice firm blanket, place it in between the feet, and take the pressure off the calves, off the feet by elevating the buttocks. Again, you adjust. You will get more and more familiar as to what's most appropriate to your body, even though it does change from week to week. All right. Once you've established this foundation, take hands either side, elongate through the spine, and come rest forwards. Now, due to babes, you will assess how far forwards you're going and how close to the bolster you are. Can feel nice to wrap the arms around the bolster. Otherwise, you can rest the forearms to the earth, whatever feels best to you. But pause here and close your eyes. we're going to rest here for up to 5 minutes. It actually takes us 7 minutes before the mind fully disengages and the mind and the body surrender and relax deeply. So we need these 7 minutes to truly come to a place of deep surrender. As you may well have experienced, if you are more seasoned in yoga, you may be able to drop in quicker as your years of shavasana and or restorative practices have already imprinted and uploaded the ability to shift more readily into our parasympathetic nervous system. If that's not the case yet, I invite you to do this practice. Embrace your shavasana, embrace whichever resting posture resonates with you so that you can more readily and deeply connect to a place of deep rest and stillness. Not only for you, but it will also be imprinted into your child's DNA and memory as well. Closing the eyes. As you exhale, slowly surrender deeper. Slowly coming to deepen your breath. Easing your way back into the room. If you are loving this and you're not ready to come out, please do pause and stay for however long you need. This is to be honored. If you are ready to come out, gently come place your hands to the earth and slowly ease yourself gently back up. Good. And easing back to here. All right. Place your bolster aside. A nice way to come out is, again, just to stretch the legs one at a time out. If you have downward facing dog in your asana practice and you are not in your third trimester, you may indeed come up into a wider downward facing dog, and you may gently stretch the legs out here. All right. Slowly coming to make your way up to standing. As we come on up to our Tadasana, take the hands together at the heart. Shift your weight back so that your heels, your weight is 50% in your heels, more so than in the balls of your feet. I'm sorry, 5% more in your heels than in the balls of your feet. Hands resting at heart center. Allow the shoulders to descend away from the ears. Now lift all 10 toes. Spread the toes wide and then softly release the toes back down to the earth. Allow the buttock bones to energetically descend downwards to the heels. And as the hands rest at heart center, find the broadness through the collarbone. Feel the shoulder blades descending down the back of the body. Harnessing your breath. A smooth, steady, cleansing breaths in. And smooth, steady, cleansing breaths out. Inhale. Let's raise the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, we'll sweep the arms steadily back down. Inhale, raising the arms. Exhale and release. Inhale, once more, rise. We're connecting the movement and the breath. Just a simple, clean action, but be present to it, embrace it. Hands come to heart center. Rooting into your right foot, we're going to step into the left. As we root into the right, we're going to step the left foot back behind us. Now, I've run out of space, so I'm going to step my right foot forwards, but you try to keep your right foot forwards and step your left foot back. Now, ladies, keep your feet hip-width apart. If you're teeter-tottering and wobbling, then you're probably too close with the feet and you need to bring them more hip width to give you that stability. Now see how my back left foot is pointing more north than it is out to the left side. This is to protect my knee and to keep the hips square to the front of the room to minimize any torquing in the sacrum and any torquing in that back knee. Now take hands to heart center. Feel that groundedness in the back left heel and ascend and rise up through the spine. Harness the breath and embody your cleansing in-breath and your smooth, steady cleansing out-breath. You feel safe. Close the eyes. It really invites you to be in your feet, to be in your legs. And from that grounded connection of feet and legs, this spine ascends and rises. Now you can stay as you are, or you can raise the arms up overhead. Allow shoulders to descend away from the ears as you rise. Full cleansing breaths in and steady cleansing breaths out. Exhale as we sweep the arms back down. Our hands rest at heart center and we'll come step the back foot to the head of the mat. Root into your Tadasana here. Take that pause. Find your heel energy rooting into the earth, buttock bones energetically descending downwards to the earth. Collarbone is broad. And we take a moment in our Tadasana, in our mountain. We breathe. We find our steadiness. And then from here, we transfer the weight into that left foot. And we come step the right foot back behind us. Rooting into the back right heel. Finding that 5% in the back heel so we're firmly rooted into the back body. Buttock bones are descending, heart is rising. And again, my right toes are pointing more north than they are out to the right side to protect my knee, to protect the sacrum. And as the knee stacks above the heel, come inhale and raise the arms up overhead. Shoulders are descending down as you rise. Full cleansing breaths in and out. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then as we exhale, we sweep the arms steadily back down. And we take our hands to heart center. And we come step, oopsie days, back foot to the head of the mat as we drop back into our Tadasana. Take a pause here. Find your heel energy. Rise and lengthen up through the heart and the crown as the shoulder blades descend. Good. Now come step the feet 3 to 4 feet apart. Rooting into the feet, we'll come turn right toes in as we turn left toes out. We'll come bend through that front right knee. And we lengthen through the inner thigh. We draw back through the outer thigh. But we keep our hips level. Notice that sometimes this Left hip can drop down, raise it up, so that right and left hip are on the same plane. Taking the hands onto the hips can give you that nice visual as to where your hips are in space and time. Now, as you root into the feet, now come float the arms parallel to the earth. Stand in your warrior two. If you are in your third trimester, feel free to keep hands at heart center. It can feel taxing and it can pull on the pelvic floor and on the groins if the arms are too high up and maybe even parallel. So listen to if it's pulling, straining anywhere, and pull back and do less. This is a wonderful time to practice listening to that, and it can be subtle. Our pushing, our straining can be subtle. We want to become more in tune to what that looks like uniquely for each of us. One more cleansing breath in, one more cleansing breath out. And then as we release, we take our hands to heart center. Now you're going to crease a little more into this left hip. And you're going to root in the back right foot. I'm going to ask you to keep your hands at heart center as you root into the feet and elongate and lengthen through the spine. Locking in my hip there, so I need to undo. There you go. Take a pause. Now, don't go so deep. Feel free to stay up higher. Let your breath remain smooth and steady. If you feel the breath is straining in any way, then you've gone a little too deep. And coming up just a fraction higher will allow you to open and expand a bit more. One more cleansing breath in. Cleansing breath out. All right, ladies, from your feet and legs, slowly ease back up. We're going to lift the toes of the front foot and turn the leg in. And lift the toes of the back foot, turn the leg out. Middle toe is in line with the center of the heel. Heel of front foot in line with heel or arch of back foot. Now as we bend through that front right knee, make sure that this knee stays stacked above the heel. Lengthen through the inner groin, draw back through the outer groin. Level up in those hips, and then come float the arms parallel to the earth. Softly extend the gaze over the fingertips of that front right hand now. Cleansing breaths in and out. And as you anchor into the back foot and you rise up through the crown of the head, you harness the breath in its fullness. One more cleansing breath in, one more steady cleansing breath out. And then we take the hands to heart center. And we come crease in that front hip crease. And as we root into the back foot, we elongate and lengthen through the spine. Hands come to rest at heart center. We knit the ribs together. We release the shoulders away from the ears as we extend and lengthen through to the crown. And we find our full cleansing breath in and a steady cleansing breath out. One more in-breath. And one more out-breath. Good. From your feet and legs, you gently float back up. Good. It's important for us when we're pregnant to remain grounded in our feet. And we can still keep that stability and that strength in our legs. When we're pregnant, we're not building muscle mass. We're just creating more stability. We want to create more grounding, more stabilizing of our strength, mental, physical, emotional, and continue to be present to the moment so that we can connect to our bodies and connect to our babies. So this holding and this sustaining and this cultivation of being in the present moment and holding the posture for slightly longer without it causing stress or strain is part of that strengthening. Now, as we take our hands gently to heart center, we root into the outer edges of the feet. Make sure the toes are pointing straight ahead and come take the hands into the back pockets. Draw the elbows inwards towards each other and allow the shoulders to descend away from the ears. Here we breathe, finding our cleansing inhale and our smooth, steady cleansing exhale. We're not even going into a back bend right now. We're just pausing, being upright. And even though the legs are apart, you're still compacting the leg energy as if you had an invisible beach ball in between the thighs. And you can feel as if the legs are like straws drawing up the earth energy as you root the feet into the earth. Now, if you wish to do a very gentle back bend, you may. And that really is just a very soft lifting of the back of the heart to the front of the heart. Just a very gentle serving the heart upwards to the heavens. We don't do large back bend actions when pregnant, but just a slight lift up through the heart will help flush out any stagnation in the kidneys and will help you to rise, help you to keep the movement in the spine. All right, as you exhale, come take your hands to heart center. And we're slightly going to bow forwards. Now, that knitting together of the ribs, you can keep your hands resting on the thighs. Elbows are drawing in towards each other. And it's as if you're gently pressing the thighs back as you lengthen and extend it through the heart and the crown of the head. Full breaths in and out. Accessing that nice stretch along the back. Now, ladies, if you have a chair or the back of a couch or a table, you may rest your hands and pause here. Just be mindful that the weight doesn't overload in the arms and you lose it in the legs. The hands may, if you're choosing to rest the hands onto the seat of a chair, then rest them lightly and remain grounded in your foundation. Remain strong in the legs so that you can elongate and extend through the spine, but it just gives a little extra support, especially if you're more in your third trimester. One more cleansing breath in and out. Now from the feet and legs, slowly begin to hinge gently back up. Take a pause as you remain here. And then gently come to heel, toe, your feet together. And come back into your Tadasana. Close the eyes or keep the eyes softly gazing out in front on a non-moving object. Continue to allow the buttock bones to energetically descend downwards to the earth as you broaden through the collarbone and ascend and rise up through the heart. Full cleansing breaths in and out. As we come to release. Good. Let's make our way down to the earth. Now we're going to come back down to seated, and we're going to come back down to kneeling. We're going to need a belt in addition. So the knees are together and the feet are a little wider apart. Have your block and place your block in between your ankles. You can take the flesh of the calf and gently roll it out to the sides, to the side walls, rolling the calves out. And this can create a little more space in the knees. Now, if it's comfortable, you are having the feet apart and the buttocks sitting in between the feet. So you may lower the block, have it be flatter. But again, the further you are in your pregnancy, the more fluids, more water retention you have in the body. So you'll want to be a little higher probably for comfort. And know that you can again go a little further by placing your blanket on top of your block and giving yourself a little more elevation. Just make sure that you're stable and feeling stable and safe. All right. We're going to open up in the chest and heart, open up the lymphs and the glands and the milk ducts here through the side body. So we're going to take the belt into the left hand, and we're going to raise the left arm alongside the ear. Now, be mindful, because sometimes when we raise the arm up, we kick the ribs forwards and we roll the pelvis forwards. So we're dropping the buttock bones down and we're gently knitting the ribs together, keeping this containment between front and back body and keeping the pelvis in neutral as we raise the arm up. Now, this may mean that you don't raise the arm as high up as you have done in the past, because we're not cutting any corners. So as you're here, continue to contain. Take that right hand and take hold of the left tricep. Roll the arm in towards the ear and assist it upwards. Bend at your left elbow and come rest your right hand onto the left elbow. Release the ribs down, release the buttocks down. Continue to knit the ribs. Continue to raise the elbow upwards. You can stay right here. If you wish to take it one step further, you can release the right hand, turn the hand to face the wall behind you, and slide that left hand up, right hand up the spine, and take hold of the belt. Some people can take hold of the hands. If you don't need the belt, don't use it. But it's there initially, just in case you're not sure. or that it's not available today. So that right elbow descends and the left elbow ascends. And we breathe into the body. Full cleansing breaths in and out. Two more breaths. Exhale. Gently releasing the arms as you release them back down. Roll your shoulders. And we'll go the other way. I'll face forwards this time so that you see it from the front rather than the side on the second round. So you're seated on your bolster or your blanket. If you use the belt, it's going to be now in that right hand. And the right arm is extending upwards to the ceiling. Now, bring your pelvis back into neutral, descend the buttock bones down, and come to knit the ribs together, finding that containment between front and back body. Come take your left hand onto that right tricep, roll the arm alongside the ear, and then come bend the elbow as you gently assist and guide the right elbow up. Now keep the arm alongside the ear. So wherever this right arm rests, it may be here. It may not come all the way up alongside the ear. Don't bring it out and in. It really wants to be on this trajectory, straight forwards. So you may keep this left hand in front because the elbow may not point upwards to the ceiling. And that's fine. Honor where you are and keep this. This is healthy for the shoulder. Spinning the elbow out is not a healthy action for that shoulder girdle. So it's part of the honoring where we are, even if we don't like it. All right. As the elbow ascends and rises, the ribs descend. You can stay here, keeping that left hand on the right elbow or at the front of the right arm, or you can release the left hand and draw it up the center of the spine. Full cleansing breaths in, ascending as you raise that right elbow upwards to the ceiling, and you descend the left elbow downwards to the earth. Ladies, this is a great one postpartum as well, to counteract the rounding of the shoulders as we breastfeed and we admire and we are captivated by this beautiful being in our arms. There can be a collapsing that happens in the upper torso. So this is that wonderful counteraction to help open you up through the neck and the shoulders and the armpit, chest. One more breath in. And as you exhale, come release. Good. Roll your shoulders. Full round circles. Good. All right. Now we're going to come to seated. Come back onto your blanket. You may be seated on a bolster. You assess what it is that you need, because we're going to come to seated and we're going to bring the legs out to the side. We're going to take the hands behind us. Let the hands rest onto the earth or onto your bolster behind you. Gently rise up. The center of your heel wants to root into the earth, and that middle toe wants to point straight up towards the ceiling. Now you can bring your legs closer or further out. But remember, you have that relaxin running through your body. So we don't want to overstretch in any way. Let me show you if you're up on your bolster, because in pregnancy, our hamstrings tighten in order to compensate the growth on the front of the body. So your hamstrings will tighten as you progress in your pregnancy. If you wish, you may sit like so, resting the feet to the earth, cupping the fingertips behind the back of the knees. Elbows are drawing in towards the ribs. The collarbone is broad and the heart is gently rising. It's not ladylike, but it's going to feel good, especially if you're in your third trimester. And if you generally have tighter hamstrings, feel free to keep those knees bent. Wherever you are, you'll feel that nice grounding in the buttock bones. You allow the heart and the spine to rise as your shoulder blades draw down the back of your body. Full cleansing breaths in and out. Now, if you are further along and you're like, I can straighten the legs, but there's a gap between my thigh and the floor. You can either, if you have two blocks, you can place those under the thighs, and that will protect the knees. So ladies, if you're elevated and you want your legs straight, you want to support the back of the thighs. If the block is too high, then place a nice rolled up blanket so that the backs of the thighs have something to anchor into. And that will protect the knees. I don't want you overextending in the knees. And that will happen if there's nothing under the thighs. All right. Wherever you are, feel free to close your eyes. Draw the breath in and take two more cleansing breaths in and out. Now breathe into the sides of the ribs. Breathe in to the back of the ribs. Expand your connection and your capacity to breathe. Especially in that third trimester, when there's less room, there's less availability of the diaphragm to expand. You allow for that awareness of expansion to come from the sides of the body and the back of the body. Close the eyes. Slightly release the head down to invite in that quality of surrender, of letting go. More breaths here. Ladies, if you find that on your exhalation there is some availability to move forwards, you may explore that. But allow it to naturally present itself in your exhalation and still pull back. Don't go as far as your intellect wants you to go. Take that pause. Wait for your inhalation, rising and lengthening through the spine. And on your exhalation, again, you can explore. But pause. Pull back, do less. As you are working within the parameters of the relaxing, I don't want you to misconstrue how far you can go and go too far. So just stay connected to the breath, connected to the body, and be truthful and honest with yourself, especially if you know yourself to be someone who does 120%, who really gives their all. Here, your practice is to pull back. One more breath in. One more steady, cleansing breath out. Inhale. Gently easing your way back up. Take your hands behind you and gently roll the pelvis back as you softly retract the legs. You can slide off your blanket or bolster, rest the buttocks to the earth. Place your hands behind you and just gently rock your knees from side to side. That's it. And back to center. Good. We're going to make our way to your Shavasana. So we're going to support the body. Feel free to put socks or slippers back on, an extra sweater on, as your temperature will drop as you become passive in your resting pose. Now, ladies, in your first and second trimester, you may lie back over your bolster. So again, you're going to need 4 blankets or 2 blankets and 2 cushions. Make sure the cushions are the same thickness, same model, if you would. It is optimal to have a bolster and 1 or 2 blocks, as you will place the bolster over the blocks. Now, I recommend investing in this because this is really wonderful postpartum, and it's very healing to the body postpartum too. Now, the blankets. One of the blankets will be your headrest, so have it ready at the head of the mat. The 2 blankets or the 2 pillows, these could be your pillows. These come out to the side. Either side, placing them out. These are your armrests. Your 4th blanket, let it be a nice firm blanket. Extend the blanket out. This is folded in half and then fold it up. Roll it up into a nice long strip. You're going to sit in front of your bolster. Now, if you have eye pillows or hand pillows, have them at the ready. If you have hand pillows, you place 1 in each hand on your side bolsters and have your eye pillow at the ready as well. Come place your blanket, that long sausage strip, over the soles of your feet, right in the middle. Lift the knees, slide your hands under the thighs, let the blanket fold double to support the shins. Even if your knees are up higher than you know they can be, it's fine. They want to be supported, and once you lie back, you will open up in the groin a little more. So you don't want the legs at the max when you're just seated upright and setting up still. All right. Now, your legs should feel completely supported so that you can completely relax the legs and you feel that they're being held up. All right, take the hands behind you and elongate the spine. Lengthen through the back body. Reach for your blanket, your pillow blanket, or your pillow, and place it under the back of the head. So the head is slightly higher than the heart. And now feel free to have that fifth blanket to place over you if you wish. And you rest your arms onto those armrests that you have prepared. You may immediately feel that deep sense of decompression, of resting. Now, if you feel any compression in the lower back, just slightly lift the pelvis and lengthen buttock bones towards the heels, and that will take away any pinching in the lower back. Good. Ladies in first and second trimester, close the eyes, allow the bottom jaw to release from the top jaw and come to surrender here. Ladies in your third trimester, it's not optimal for you to lie back. The lying back and lounging back can bring about back labor. And we want to avoid that because that's harder for both you and babes. So we're going to lie on our sides. So come have one of your blankets at the ready as a pillow. You won't need your blocks. One or two blankets for your head. Another blanket for your arms. So you're resting on your left side. You can either place the bolster in between the legs, so that right knee is on the same line as the right hip, or you can come straighten this bottom left leg, bring the bolster snug up to the pelvis, right under babes, so your pelvis is stabilized, your hips are stabilized. Now you can draw the left hip slightly back, right hip slightly forward, but you're stable and the body can relax and you're not feeling as if you're compromising or squishing babes. So I align the bolster right with my pubis bone. Bottom arm is out along the ground and you can take a blanket, snug up and rest the top arm over the blanket. An eye pillow or a hand pillow can rest into this left hand, and an eye pillow can feel wonderful resting onto the neck. Close the eyes. Come to rest and surrender here. Slowly beginning to move your fingers and your toes in ways that feel comfortable to you, allowing your breath to become slightly fuller and deeper. You can stay as you are if you're on your left side on the floor. If you are lying back over the bolster, gently ease your right knee over to your left side and pause on your left side on the bolster, or softly, slowly travel down to the earth. And rest your forehead down onto the ground or onto your blanket, just to ground you and bring you back into the room. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly ease back up. So let your right hand press into the earth so you can come up onto that left forearm and elbow, and then slowly ease your way up to a comfortable seated position. Take your time. Coming to support the body in the ways that it needs. And we'll come take the hands at heart center. We come seal our practice with 3 rounds of Om. Steadily breathing in. Swallow in your throat. Before opening the eyes, envision in your mind's eye on the outer right foot a golden thread coming up from the earth. Allow it to come up the outer edge of that right foot to the right knee, up to the right hip. It's going to seal our energy up to the right armpit. Let it wrap, go under the underarm, go on top of the upper right arm, up the neck, over the top of the head and down on that left side. Over the left arm, under the left arm, to the left armpit, left hip, left knee, left ankle, and back down into the earth. And allow that golden thread to radiate out into your auric field. And allow it to radiate inwards as if it's a cosmic vitamin pill, giving your body that upload and that nutrients that it needs energetically and for your baby. And if there are any negative forces around you, those negative energies just get bounced off from your energetic force field and they get sent up to the light. Namaste. The divine light within me honors and sees the divine light within you. Thank you for your practice today. Namaste.